た、
た、
す、
す、
け、
け、
て、
助けて。
よくできました。おい、そこのブッソブサイク。
Honey Lemon Soda. So, should you watch it? Like everything else, it's going to be a hard question to ask. It's going to be how much and how much of an impression, how much of a good impression, how much of a good feeling the episode 1 left you with. You know, I am a big believer in episode 1 needs to be the anime's best foot forward. Regardless if you're watching this on a streaming platform, you're watching this on TV if you know you live in Japan, or if you're watching this through the 7 Seas or, you know, through some chopped up YouTube video, regardless of what it is, that episode 1 needs to make a really strong impression, because the reality is you're making a decision to give an anime your time. And when it comes to seasonal anime that is done week by week, you're making that decision every single week. And there needs to be something there that is captivating or charming enough for you to be able to come back. Now, when it comes to Honey Lemon Soda, 2 things can be true at the same time. And the 2 things for Honey Lemon Soda is, 1, I think it's cute/adorable, whatever word you want to use. I think it's a very cute anime. I actually really love the topic that it is and the character and how she's depicted. I think it's a very cute, again, /adorable anime. It could be either one of those 2 things can be interchangeable, but it's very cute and it's very adorable. The second thing, though, and, you know, sometimes opposites, a yin and yang kind of thing, 2 things can be true. I also think it's pretty boring, and that could be a really big barrier to cross for a lot of people, including myself at times. Like, I don't want to watch something that's a snooze fest for 1 to 2 minutes of like a high moment, if that makes sense. If I got to get through 19 minutes of nothing, you know, just to get 2 minutes of something satisfying, it's just not good enough for me. And it's especially not good enough for seasonal anime that I'm going to give my time week by week. It might be something that I can stomach if it's like I'm gonna binge something on a Sunday, right? Or maybe if it gets a dub and then I can binge it at the end of the season, I can kind of watch it all in one go, all 12 or 13 episodes, whatever this is gonna end up being. And good question, you know, for this one specifically. This doesn't show me. It doesn't show me exactly on Life Chart how many episodes it's actually gonna get. But again, you assume this is gonna get somewhere along the lines of 12 or 13 episodes, and that's going to end up what it's going to end up being, which, you know, it just kind of falls in line with the typical release date of a lot of shows. And yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm looking at Live Chart. I just looked at my anime list. You know, at the end of the day, you know, this is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 12, 13 episodes. So I think this is more palatable. And again, unless you vibe with it, unless you're like, oh, this is so good, it's emotional. I will say there was an emotional moment there when the main character, you know, the stone, the boulder, when the main character, when she was asking for help, I think that was a really emotional moment, and that could impact you. I think seeing her, you know, seeing her on the street, you know, kind of crying after being bullied and having somebody be kind to her, that could be an emotional moment to you. And I think when she initially, you know, when she was getting bullied and they put her, for whatever reason, they decided just to throw away her shoes. And in that moment, I think that could be an emotional moment that hits you. If any of those 3 things are true, then you might be more favored towards the show. Now, none of those 3 things really hit me. The only one that really got me was when she was asking for help and she kind of made eye contact with the Mura. I think his name is Mura or Murai or something like that. When she made eye contact with him and she was like, help me kind of thing. I think that was an emotion. That guy, I was like, oh yeah, that got me in the feels a little bit. So I think if you're making that micro connection with the show, I think that it can be more palatable for you. But when I just think about this in a broad stroke of all the different shows that we could be watching this season, and I've made a couple of videos on it, but the reality, there's like 20 new anime, like not even returning anime, but just brand new anime this season. I'm like, when it just comes to like, is this better than I Have a Crush at Work, right? Is it better than Kuroiwa? Like, is it better than Sakamoto Days that's going to come out here pretty soon? You know, is it better than some of these shows? Is it better than I think the ones that are in its hemisphere, like in the same genre, just sticking there, is I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class, which we saw, and episode 1 was awesome. Madaka Kuraiwa is Impervious to My Charms. I think that was a really awesome episode 1. And then I Have a Crush at Work. You know, like, is it better than that? And I think that it's probably 4 out of 4 if I would just compare some of the same genre, like, you know, that they would kind of fit in that same bubble. I don't think it's as good as those. But again, it's drama, right? It's school, it's drama. It's supposed to be slower paced. It's supposed to be more methodical. So again, from the other side of it is I understand why it is what it is. So I'll just stop there and say, hey, so were you vibing with it? You know. So then taking a step back, do I recommend it? My personal thing again is no, I don't. I think that it's too slow paced. I think that it's cute and adorable, but I don't think that either the Stone, which I think her name's Uka, by the way. I don't think the Stone, you know, or this kid, Mura, I don't think that they are captivating enough to really have gotten my attention. Like this Murakai guy, you know, Captain 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐭, you know, that seems to kind of be his thing. You know, gonna put on a cape. You know, has blonde hair where blonde hair is not prevalent, wears hoodies and ball caps at school. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't seem like a decent person, you know, he's depicted in being like decent or anything. He's just, when I think of the male MC that I kind of would like to see, I gotta think about somebody that's maybe just a little more charming to me. And he doesn't quite fit that bill. But Uka, you know, too, like, I understand and I can be very empathetic towards, you know, she's been bullied. She kind of struggles to speak out. She kind of struggles to have a voice for herself. She wants to just kind of have a semblance of like a normal life, but she doesn't quite know how to break out of that shell, you know, and she's going to end up being assisted with that with this Kai Mura person guy. And then, you know, they're probably gonna have a romance that starts from that as well, too, because he sees something in her. I just don't know if I like them enough. And I think about there was an anime maybe a couple of seasons ago, and the main character, like the girl, was kind of a similar scenario, but in a sense where she wasn't as bullied. She was, but not as much. But she was like a deaf character, and she fell in love with this other guy, and he was charming and captivating and cool. And I think that the subject matter, or like the topic that the show kind of handled, because it was a little deeper, I kind of connected with it more. And I don't really feel connected with this one too much. Again, I think it's still worth the watch. You know, maybe at the end of the season, maybe you binge it. Maybe I binge it. Maybe if it gets a dub, that would be binge even more. But for me, my recommendation, and you know, for me is no, not week by week, and no, not above some of these other shows. Again, I take it all back. If you specifically vibed with it, you like the subject matter of, like, you know, being bullied and kind of getting out of your shell, overcoming adversity, falling in love for the first time, finding your voice. If those are things that maybe not all, but maybe you can empathize, or maybe you've experienced something like that or something similar, I can see how somebody who can connect with it a little deeper. And in those cases, yeah, I think, yeah, of course you should watch it if you kind of have that connection. Or if you just watched the episode, you're like, oh, this is so good, then yeah, of course. But I just didn't have any of those feelings. And I left feeling like, this was okay. I was mostly bored, but then the end really got me. The end was really cute. But was that end enough for me? No. So I'm leaving you guys in those thoughts. Honey Lemon Soda. My expectations were just, you know, middling. I didn't really have real expectations going into it. I tried and go in with no expectations to all these brand new shows. But I would just say I would be somewhere along the lines of like a 6 out of 10 for this show. And definitely this wouldn't be leading the charge for romance. This is more drama in school, it feels. So anyway, let me get those thoughts. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Check out my channel, my official channel, the Otaku Room, for all reviews I am doing week by week on the channel. And of course, check out the video for the gems that you might miss this season coming up on screen. All right, see you in the next video. Peace.